Yo everybody, what is up? We are back again here for another 7 Deadly Sins video, and today we actually have the patch notes released for the upcoming collab with Stranger Things. Now, we actually have the banner here, and as you can see, we have our loyalty rewards here. We have 300 gets you guaranteed random SSR from the banner. Then 600 gives you one of the collab units. Now, this is not a error or a typo. This is in fact level 80 5-star that they're gonna give you once you pull one of these characters. They're gonna automatically level 80 5-star them. That way, I'm assuming that they're doing this because people are gonna be strapped for materials during the next like 3-4 weeks due to the rapid, schedule that they're pushing these units out on. And down here, we actually have the banner lineup itself. These characters are all garbage. None of these are really top tier anymore. Escanor was like the first 3 months the game existed, he was good. All of these units not really relevant. The only one even slightly relevant is the Diane. But after these heroes drop, they won't be relevant anymore, I'll tell you that much. Because once we go down here, this is just the stupid guaranteed SSR pack that you can purchase. And of course, in the coin shop, like all collabs, this is par for the course. You can exchange 3 duplicate coins of a collab unit for 1 coin of any of the other ones. Terrible deal, but if you're a massive Megalodon, this works in your favor. So you can just go ahead and 6-6 a unit you need coins for and get rid of the ones that you already have 6-6. Right here, these super weighting coins, you can exchange those for SSR characters. So that's going to be in. I don't know if that's just temporary. Now, the first card we're going to look at here is 11. And her initial card right here, the first one, is basically Merlin's first card, which does the power strike equal to their resistance. It's pretty strong. Of course, once you read her passive, it's going to start making more sense here. Her Psychic Wave attack, which is her second card, is an AoE that does 12% less damage per enemy on the field. It's basically a single target with optional AoE, but does reduce damage the more enemies that are alive on the field at the same time. So you preferably want to use this when there's fewer enemies than 3. And then you go down here, and of course you have her ulti, which is 780% of her attack, and heals 40% of the damage you deal to 1 enemy to the rest of your team. Now, her passive here is increases the hero's damage dealt to enemies by 40%, and it reduces her health by 10% every time she uses a card. This is not max health, so you can always heal back up, but it does cost health. So I'm wondering here if you just can't use a card, or if it kills you if you don't have the health requirement to use a card. Now, if we go down here, we have Justin Bieber. He has the Whiplash. I think he's the least impressive of all these units, honestly, because he's a solid unit, but he doesn't really offer anything unique as opposed to what the other collab units bring. So of course he has single target attack that infects for 2 turns. Really not anything special here. Inflicts damage equal to 500% to 1 enemy and fills ulti gauge by 2. That's Green Escanor's and Lost Fane's main attacking card right there. And then over here, his ultimate is cancels buffs, stances, and stuns for 2 turns. And then his passive is it's pretty good. It's not anything that's I think is going to be too significant over here, but if a hero inflicts damage on an enemy using a single target attack, applies an effect which decreases attack related stats by 30% for 2 turns. This really won't be as OP as it probably looks, because you have blue Escanor, so by nature you're not going to be able to debuff him anyways, right? He's gonna full send you all of his cards when he reaches his 3rd stack. So this, I don't really think that's going to make too much of a difference. It's definitely going to be good against, how do I say it, more based units like Assault Mode and Lolly Merlin. This will probably be really good to dealing with those 2. But if you go down to here, we have Bowl Cut guy. And he is, in my opinion, the most unique and going to be the most broken character. Let's be honest here. So basically, his first one is already cracked. This dude stops your ulti gauge from filling up for 2 turns, right? And then his second card is like mega cracked. It's like giga cracked. I don't even know what they just wanted to give this guy. He's actually a fucking rot PK right now. He will literally ice barrage your whole team. This guy is in full ancestrals, so he has inflicts flood damage equal to 250% on all enemies. Flood, if you don't know, is the one Escanor's main card damage, basically. And the more health you have, the more damage this card's gonna deal. So the higher the current health you have, the more damage this card's gonna deal. You can assume that this, based off of that correlation alone, that this card's gonna hit like a truck, and it's AoE nonetheless. First AoE card to have the one Escanor's passive attached to it. Not passive, but his card passive. So we have here his ultimate, inflict sever damage to all enemies. This strikes me as incredibly unique, because normally they stick sever damage as a single target on ultimates. So this shows you how strong this ability is. So you pretty much will almost guarantee team wipe with that. His passive, if an ally's HP falls below 50% due to an enemy skill use, they will have all other stats decreased by 20%, ultimate move gauge sealed, and applies one superpower which grants immunity to all damage for 1 turn. Basically, it's a version of Goddess Elizabeth's Revive. The moment one of your teammates' HP falls below 50%, they're basically going to become invincible, and by basically I mean literally invincible. They're probably not going to be immune to CC, so you can probably stun them. There's ways to deal with it. I would hope, at least. This is not currently live in the game because it's still updating, so I wouldn't have any knowledge to go off of in game. But going based off of the description that they're giving us here, you can assume that this is going to be another form of Goddess Liz. The way his kit's designed, he's basically a more aggressive Goddess Liz, right? And I think a lot of people are going to use him because he's just like, who doesn't love, full sending damage? He's going to be really, I don't want to say annoying because I feel like that's a little too strong of a statement to make here, but I feel like he's going to be very meta. Like he's going to be on a lot of teams, because I mean, the passive alone is enough to substitute G-Liz, and I'm pretty sure, just like me, there's quite a few people out there that are tired of running G-Liz, right? It's a necessity at this point, that more than it is a choice, so he's gonna be a really good substitute for G-Liz. So you go over here, you have Farmer with the shotgun, inflicts damage equal to 450% of attack on enemies, and depletes 3 ultimate gauge orb. All right, and this is a single target. I said enemies, but this is a single target. This is right here, cancel stance on one enemy. This is G-Liz stun, right? This does exactly what G-Liz stun does. So nothing unique there, but it's, it's obviously G-Liz stun, it's strong. And then his ulti inflicts weak point damage equal to 578% on one enemy, right? So nothing too crazy here. His passive, though, is what strikes me as really, really incredibly strong. Now, depending on how this interacts in the actual game rather than on paper, this could be the new substitute for Leduciel. Now, basically, at the beginning of an ally's turn, randomly applies direct hit on 2 enemies for 1 turn, right? Enemies with direct hit take 40% more damage and become poisoned for 1 turn when attacked by collab heroes. I believe right here, after it says become, I feel like the fact that they're saying by collab heroes only applies to the poisoning effect. I don't believe that the direct hit effect is correlated to them being collab heroes. What I mean by that is that no matter what you're using on your team, it doesn't have to be collab heroes, right? You can use like Lost Fane or the one Escanor, and I believe that this passive direct hit will still apply to even those. So you see where I'm going with this. Now, mind you though, this is only 1 turn that he applies this, and it's 2 characters randomly. So you might not end up getting it on someone that you want to prioritize taking down, but nonetheless, the odds are still in your favor, right? You have a 66% chance of at least one of those marks hitting someone. So this is going to be a really good take for Leduciel for, I believe, non-whales, because this is going to be discount Leduciel right here, right? So I feel like people will run him when they're trying to, do the Leduciel Death Pierce cheese, right? I believe he's going to be a good substitute for that. And that's actually really all they have for the patch notes. Now, if I had to rank the characters based off of how good I believe they're going to be, I believe Eleven's going to be really high up on the list, right? She seems really strong, and she's basically a stronger Lolly Merlin, right? She's basically a stronger Lolly Merlin, in my opinion, right? Without seeing her in game, we can't really make any, solid statements. Here, now, of course, I believe he's going to be the weakest. I mean, look at his cards and everything is just like, they're very generic, right? His passive's kind of a saving grace here, but nothing too crazy. I guarantee you, this guy will be on everyone's team now for the next like 2 months till they release a counter for him. He will be the new G-Liz, trust me. And he will be discount Ladouciel. I think you'll see him on some teams here and there that want to run him for, you know, the passive, but I believe that's it. So if there was one character I'm going to be gunning for, it's going to be Will. Right, Justin Bieber's best friend over here with his freaking hairline bowl cut. The update hasn't come out yet. This is the middle of the update, and hopefully we get to see some cool PvP videos though showing off these characters.